Hello aspirants, welcome to Impact IAS Academy. So today, if you have read the Hindu newspaper, you would have noticed in the World Global News column that the US President visited UK for many dimensions. So before going to that, the UPSC prelims is arriving soon in the month of May. Hope you all are preparing very well. Follow our playlist to gain international knowledge regarding various relationship with respect to India and other global forums. So today, in the previous video, we saw Trump and Mr. Modi to begin talks soon. So today's topic is not a continuation of that, but a linkage to the international relations of US, India, and also UK. So coming to the news in today. So India-UK relations, India-US relations, and lessons from recent events. Recent means today. Today, what's the date? 16th September 2025. So the US President, Mr. Donald Trump, visited UK and he has received a ceremonial diplomacy welcome. So state visit is usually considered the highest level of diplomatic invitation with ceremonies and banquets and symbolic gestures. So Trump's second state visit to the UK shows Britain. Britain uses the monarchy, like monarchy means king ruling. So who is the king? King Charles III, and who is the Queen Camilla. So Mr. Trump, he is using these king and queen as a soft power. So that is being told here. So moving on to what is soft power. Soft power means influencing others through culture, values, attraction, and then avoiding military, avoiding money power. So India can use yoga. Yes, India can use yoga. India can use heritage sites. India can use festivals like Diwali, Moharram, Christmas. And India can use its diaspora to convince others that you can come to our country, you can invest, and we can sign trade deals so that we would be economically high, we would be high in many dimensions. So coming to first dimension, trade and economic dimension. So the UK already enjoys favorable terms with US with low tariffs. So here in the table I have given what is a tariff and what is a reciprocal tariff. So for freshers, mainly aspirants who are freshly preparing for UPSC Civil Service Examination 2026, you have to know what is tariff. So a tariff is a tax or duty imposed on imported goods when they cross a country's border. So for example, if India imports whiskey from the UK and charges 150% tax, then the price of the whiskey in India becomes very high. In the same way, what is reciprocal tariff? So when two countries agree to impose a same or nearly equal tariff rate on each other's goods, then it is called reciprocal tariff. For example, if UK allows Indian textile into its market at 10% tariff, India might allow British textiles in India at the same 10% tariff. So this is what reciprocity means. That means you treat me the way I treat you, or I treat you the way you treat me. So this is what reciprocity means. So coming back to trade and economic dimension, India and UK signed a comprehensive economic trade agreement in July 2025. You would have all followed that news. So under this, 99% of the Indian exports to the UK will eventually be duty free. No duty will be levied on that. While about 90% of the UK exports to India will get reduced tariffs also. So next, moving to example. For example, Scotch whisky tariffs will fall from 150% to 40% over 10 years. So this makes Indian goods like textiles, medicines, processed foods cheaper in the UK market. So this is what this comprehensive economic trade agreement, which was signed between India and UK in the month of July, will give advantage in these forms. So moving to next dimension, technology and energy dimension. So Trump's visit brought agreements on small module reactors, because big module reactors would eventually require more size, more investment, more safety measures. But when it comes to small, we can easily maintain it. We can ensure that safety. We can ensure that easy investments are made into it effectively. So small module reactors are being welcomed by most nations. So hence, Mr. Trump's visit brought agreements on small module reactors. So these are smaller nuclear power plants. What are small module reactors? So they are small nuclear power plants. These can be built faster at lower cost than the traditional ones. So the US and UK also agreed to work on artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, like Gemini, like Copilot. So these are some of the examples for artificial intelligence. algorithms. So next, quantum computing and semiconductors. So semiconductors is very much important topic with respect to India, especially for UPSC civil service examination. In the main GS paper 3, technology, science and technology, semiconductors topic gets repeated few times. So we would obviously we have to know certain missions and schemes launched by the Indian government with respect to semiconductors. So first such scheme is India Semiconductor Mission, launched in 2021. So India Semiconductor Mission is a main umbrella body under Ministry of Electronics and IT, MeitY in short form. So purpose is to build semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem in India. It provides policy support, incentives and infrastructure for companies to set up fabs. Fabs means fabrication plants. So what is the target? Target is to make India a global hub for design, manufacturing as well as packaging of semiconductors. So this is all about first scheme. Moving on to second important scheme with respect to semiconductors in India. So product linked incentive scheme, it is often being reflected in news. So PLI for semiconductors and display. So it was announced in 2021 with an outlay of rupees 76,000 crores. So it covers semiconductor fabrication companies, then display fabrication companies, then compound semiconductors, then design linked incentive support for India chip design startup companies also. So what is the aim of this particular scheme? PLA scheme, it reduces import dependence, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So that is what. So third scheme, design linked incentive scheme. So it is a part of India Semiconductor Mission on encouraging chip design in India. So we have to design our own chips. So it provides 50%, half of the financial support is being borne by this mission for eligible design projects. So it supports startups and academic collaborations in this chip design field. So moving on to fourth important semiconductor program in India, Semicon India program. A series of events and initiatives under Indian Semiconductor Mission to attract global investors. So the first Semicon India conference in 2022 was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi. So companies like Vedanta, Foxconn, Micron Technology, so they have shown interest in this scheme, Semicon India program. So Micron announced a $2.75 billion semiconductor assembly and testing plant in Gujarat in 2023. So next, second last is Chips to Startup program, C2S program. So it was also launched in 2021 to train students, researchers and startups in designing semiconductors. So VLSI means very large scale integration. So 85,000 engineers should be trained over 5 years. So that is a target, and it helps to create a skilled manpower for this semiconductor industry. So last one is international partnerships. So India is trying semiconductor missions with India, US through ICET, initiatives on critical and emerging technologies. So it is all about semiconductor. Why we are seeing this much schemes? Because semiconductors were also an agenda on US and UK agreements. So we have to know on India, we have got this much semiconductor schemes, missions. Next dimension with respect to US UK meetup is political stability dimension. In India, with respect to internal security and external security, we are very much concerned on maintaining the law and order. We are very much concerned about maintaining the political decorum. So why? Because the international forums often keeps eyes on almost every country to look for investments. When the government is stable, the investors decide their investments on a large scale based on the stable government and its peaceful coexistence policies. So when it comes to UK at present, the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer faced scandals, including his his subordinate resignation for some tax evasion issue. So his subordinate resigned. So this weakened his position in the international forum. So what are the lessons for India? That is very much important with respect to this US-UK meetup. So domestic stability and credibility strengthens international negotiations, and stable governments are trusted by the partners or investors. So when it comes to next dimension of US-UK meetup, personal versus institutional diplomacy. So Trump's controversy is like his links to Jeffrey Epstein. So who is Jeffrey Epstein? In the box you can see he was born in 1953 and he died on the year 2019. So he was an American financier and also a convicted sex offender. So some criminal cases are also being charged on him, and he was seen died in August 2019 in the New York jail cell. It was said that he committed suicide, but also reports suggest that some conspiracy theories also exist. So why his name comes up with political leaders? Because the political leaders who gets associated with this name also gets their names damaged. So this is what his story. So Trump's controversies of associating with Jeffrey Epstein also damages Trump's name. So India has wisely invested in institutional and bipartisan relationship with the US. This means India's ties goes beyond individual leaders, not just with Prime Minister. It goes beyond individual leaders, working with US Congress, businesses and universities. So this ensures continuity in relation regardless of whether US and India, some relations may deter, but this would keep the relations safe. So coming to next dimension, comparison of India UK and comparison of India US. So when we see India and UK, so India and UK we trade around 25 billion US dollars, and we have signed comprehensive economic trade agreement in 2025, and that is a watershed moment, which is a breakthrough moment. So a diaspora of 1.8 million Indians are living in UK. Cultural links from colonial history and defense cooperation is limited when compared with the US. When we compare with the US, the defense cooperation between India and UK is very limited. So when we see India and US, so we trade around 190 billion US dollars, which is much more greater than the UK. So making US the India's largest trading partner. So strong defense ties with agreements like in the previous video, we have seen all these agreements, LEMOA, COMCA, SA, BECA. So all these agreements in the previous lecture we have seen. So also in companies, US companies lead in semiconductors. So semiconductors is being repeated with respect to India-US relations. So we have to know what are the missions, and I explained it in the moments before. So what are the overall lessons for India with respect to this US and UK meetup? So we have to project cultural heritage as a tool for diplomacy, similar to how UK uses its monarchy, like it uses its king and queen to display diplomacy. We have to use our cultural heritage. So we have to push for a fairer trade agreements using the Indian markets as a leverage. So third most important point is we have to move into frontier technologies like AI, quantum computing, then semiconductors. So because we have launched many government schemes for all these. So National Quantum Mission, National Semiconductor Mission, then we have to maintain a domestic political stability, because in international forums you have to maintain a good name. So when we move a little depth, lessons for India. So India just signed the comprehensive economic trade agreement with UK in 2025. So India can learn from US UK talks on handling sensitive tariffs through phased cuts while maximizing export opportunity. So immediately we cannot expect a large tariff cut, but phased cuts we can expect, and we can aim for it. Second one is lesson in tech partnerships. So the US-UK collaboration on semiconductors, AI, small modular reactors, so they show how advanced their economies are moving, towards which their economies are moving, like technology and diplomacy. So India should similarly achieve or try to achieve in areas of semiconductor, National Quantum Mission, India AI. So we have to bring trade negotiation in these dimensions like US, Japan and European Union partners also. So then soft power diplomacy. The UK uses monarchy, as I said, it uses its king and queen to preach diplomacy. So India can project its civilizational heritage like yoga, Ayurveda, heritage sites and diaspora in a structured way during state visits. So and managing domestic stability also. India should manage its own domestic stability, domestic political stability, avoid getting irritants within India like Manipur issue and etc. So we have to avoid such issues to gain a positive momentum in the international forum. So it is all about this US-UK meetup and what India can learn from it, and what are some schemes, government missions with respect to the US-UK things discussed like semiconductor, artificial intelligence, quantum mission, quantum computing. So this article comes under the syllabus of GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 in UPSC mains as well as in UPSC prelims current affairs. So I hope it was very useful for you. So follow this playlist. This is exclusively meant for international relations, international agreements, international forums and India relations with global countries. So this playlist would be very helpful in decoding mains points. You can definitely gather mains points from this video, also in previous lectures, also in the following lectures. Stay tuned for further videos. We will be again back with many more much pressing issues like Nepal issue and other nearby countries and global forums issue in our upcoming videos. Thank you.